Hello, hello. It's Scrappy Kathy with Freeze Friday, and it's just barely still Friday. So I'm proud of that. I have such a long laundry list of things to do tomorrow. I didn't want to leave this to be added to that. So I'm going to try to run through here as quickly as possible. Quite a few of these, including this one, were done at the Mind the Scrap Zoom crop. I think there were 5 challenges there, and this was challenge number 1. And I used the leaf die that I accidentally bought that I reported on last week here, and I actually used the negative space when I die cut it out as a stencil to do some texture paste on there. That was part of the challenge. Let me close that up and I'll just put that there. That one was using pretty much mostly my own stash, but some October Mind the Scrap kit, including these papers. I think everything on here was, well, the burlap and the corrugated were mine from my stash. And this was from my stash, but everything else is from the October Mind the Scrap kit. Here, this was to use our 10th pin in Pinterest was the challenge, and this was my 10th pin. So I just made some circles out of the October kit, including an upside down rainbow and a cute little picture of Ava being supported by her sister's feet. And here's another Ava one. I did a lot of Ava layouts. This one was to, it was a stash dive. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was Scrap Squad's Autumn Stash Dive. This was their Stash Dive lift number 1. And I, instead of doing stitched circles and lines, I did a doily, and I used it on top of that yellow circle paper that was, it's on the back of this, and some old Vicky Bouton supplies, some Bramble Fox, well no, those are Redefined Creative stars, and a lot of stuff from my sequin and bling stash. And then here's a football page. I've been making a few of those lately. Just kind of 3 random photos of before and during the Barrett's game last week. And I was using this sketch that Emma provided. It was one that she had been wanting to do. And I die cut some clouds out of scraps. This one was to do, to scrap about a scary time. And this was when there was a storm blowing in, and we still wanted to stick around and watch the sunset. That was in Noumea in New Caledonia. And this one, it was a lift of Vonnie, and she had done a picture of her cat and had the, flowers all around it, and a torn strip right here. So this was my lift of her, and it was just a picture of me and Ava. Ava was playing hide and seek, and she thought if she covered her eyes that nobody could see her. She thought she was hiding. And then this one was a load prompt, and it was number 10 in the 30 days of sketches. The load prompt was about the changing of the guard, and the sketch was this one with the circle and the big banner and 3 photos. And so I have the circle and the big banner and 3 photos of the changing of the guard at the palace in excuse me, Copenhagen, Denmark. And the queen was in the castle, so she gave permission for and encouraged the band that accompanies the guards to sing Christmas carols or play Christmas carols, and everybody joined in singing. It was great. Very unexpected. This was a Scrap Squad lift that I did for Scrap Squad Sunday. I used Basic Gray Dasher. That's this paper right here, the most gorgeous paper in the history of paper. Excuse me. And this is Summer Lovin' by Cartabella. And this is a Dear Lizzie collection right there. And those are some, I think, crepe paper, holographic tropical leaves. And there's a stencil and some texture paste, adding to the palm tree look of the Costa del Sol, and I doodled in those sprocket holes on the quote-unquote film strip. This was for the load prompt 11, and it was 30 days. This was the sketch, and I did this. I called it Glitter Girls and used lots of glittery paper and a lot of purple. So well, I'm not sure what that is. This was a really beautiful Scrap Squad lift, and I did this one for 31 Days of Spooky Scraps that Erica Breslin, otherwise known as California Lucky, is sponsoring. She's got new prompts every day, and there are a ton of talented people joining in, and this was a day that I agreed to do a video. I've got a couple more of the prompts that I'm planning to do, and I'm actually doing another video on this Monday, the 19th. So I've got a cute photo for that one. This was when Katie and Ava ran into a scythe-bearing skeleton at a pizza place. So this one was about the fact that we just sold our little piece of Texas, and I'm not sure where this came from. I'm reasonably certain it came from this layout. And where would it have been? Maybe right here under the kitty cats. I guess I have to glue it. And it wouldn't be a layout share if I didn't find something I had to re-glue. Excuse me. Not sure what that's all about, but I think I'll do that. I expected those letters to come up, and maybe I glued them at the time. This was about selling this property in Texas. John's pointing to it here, and I'm pointing to it there, so I did some arrows there. These were these swatches on a packet of paper, and there's about the location of our land in this great state of Texas. And this was the sketch for that day, and the load prompt was about independence. So this is us declaring our independence from the taxes and HOA fees on property that we were never going to be able to build on. This is a birthday gift for my granddaughter Allie, who is at home in isolation, recovering from COVID, and she just turned 19 last week, and so I made this, and this is that leaf die again, and again I used the negative space to do a shadow underneath. And these die cuts are from Bramble Fox, and all of these beautiful perspectives are also from Bramble Fox. I just love this, and I know she's going to as well. This one uses one of my favorite songs by Shake Russell called Deep in the West. And you can Google it or check it out, search for it on YouTube and listen to it. It's amazing voice, an amazing song. And when we were taking this road trip in 2016 and we hit landscapes like this, that song kind of got stuck in my head, so I had to name this layout by that. This was the sketch that we used, and so I couldn't decide which photos to use. I couldn't just narrow it down to just 2. So I covered the whole page with photos and then did washi tape across the photos there, and some Paige Evans Go the Scenic Route embellishments. This one was about food, and we were to use food embellishments, and I love my little metal fork, knife, and spoon there. And this was about the food on a cruise ship that we used to have for lunch. It's called a surf and turf sandwich, and that just kind of sounds like it might be plain, but it's filet mignon and lobster slices with au jus and remoulade sauce. And it's just amazing. And I came home and fixed it, and the kids want that for every special meal. This was the sketch that I used. And that's all Vicki Booten Storyteller supplies. This one was, I was using a challenge to use a question mark or a question. This was the sketch, and instead of just a half circle, I used a doily to give me a full circle. And I used quite a few photos, including a round one and a rectangular one and a large rectangular one and a different rectangular one, so that I could have them all. This is the front yard, and these are 3 backyard views of a little cottage, a little 100-year-old cottage that we bought when we retired, and fixed it up and then left it. So that's that. This is this was for Mixed Media Frenzy that went live today. This is Friday, yes, still Friday, like I said, and it's kind of a celebration of getting from this unconscionable mess to this, which is a dedicated cutting station with all my dies and embossing folders right handy where I need to use them. And I did a lot of stamping, and I typed directly on my background for that. So that was a fun one to do. This was the original, and they typed directly on it, and I used gouache. They may have used gesso to give them a background to do that stamping on. And then this one is a football layout that I did with that exact same sketch that I used for the one with our cottage, but I turned it on its side, and I drew the rectangles instead of using paper. And I did use the half circle there. These are some photos of Barrett from last week's game. And then the one I did tonight, the reason I'm filming this so late is we went to the football game, and I took this photo right here. And this was today. Well, I didn't have it on here. It's haven't got that one labeled yet. This was the sketch for today. And this video just went live, and the photo has just moved around. And my Nuvo drops are probably still not dry. Anyway, I wanted to wait until I had done today's load and 30 days of sketches layout before I made the Freeze Friday. I spent no money this week. And let's see, here's my glue. I don't anticipate spending any, because I'll tell you what, this organization project I'm doing makes me feel that surely there could be nothing out there that I need, and probably shouldn't be anything out there that I want. So I'm happy shopping at home, shopping from my own stash. And tonight on this layout, in fact, I have just rediscovered my stash of these. Remember these letter stickers. And I use those in a relatively old boy-themed 6x6 paper pad. So it's been a fun week. I think there's 17 layouts here, and I anticipate more. There's a Mind the Scrap Cybercrop that I'm doing, and in 2 hours they'll be issuing the first challenge for Saturday, and I'm going to try to catch up on all of those. And there's the Secret Not Secret Kit Club party this weekend, and I'm going to try to do as many of those layouts as I possibly can. Plus, I'll be doing Load and the 30 Days of Sketches, filming those every day, and then the Spooky Scraps Monday, and I think somewhere in there, maybe on Wednesday, I have another Scrap Academy lesson. And then, of course, there's Challenge Accepted and Mixed Media Frenzy. So probably going to be quite a few layouts in my Freeze Friday review next week. So have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week for a layout share and spending review. Bye.